How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. In this one, we have the Redmi Note 10 5G. We're going to be reviewing this and talking about my experience with the device so far, as long as I've had it. I've had it for a while now, so yeah, I've got some feedback on this. Before I get into it, though, this is not to be mistaken for Redmi Note 10 Pro or Lite version. It seems Xiaomi are just dishing out these phones left, right, and center. So we have another device here that's stripped back a lot of stuff that's good about the Redmi Note 10 Pro, for example, and this is kind of like dialed back a little bit in exchange for that 5G signal that you get in there. So this might be something that's based on the fact that whether you prefer to have 5G or not. But before we get into that though, if this is your first time around here, let's make sure that you subscribe first and hit that like button and share it at the end as well if you like this video. And don't forget the bell notification as well. So every time I upload a new video like this, or if you like phone review videos like this, you get notified whenever they get uploaded. So the Redmi Note 10 5G is a less than £200 phone to buy, and it has a lot of stuff going for it as well. So you have a 48 megapixel camera, for example. On the side, you have your SIM card tray that goes in there, and on the right, you have a fingerprint sensor and your power button that's integrated in there, and up top that is your volume rocker. If you go right up to top of the device, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is now synonymous for me with any phone that costs round about this price. But this surprised us though, we have IR Blaster here, so you can use this as a remote control at home if you want to connect to your TV and stuff like that. On the bottom, you have a USB-C connector, so you can use to charge your smartphone and transfer data as well, and you have a mono speaker. With a mono speaker, it just means you have to be careful the way you hold it, because when you're playing games, for example, or watching videos like movies, it just means that you're blocking the speaker most of the time, so you kind of have to be careful the way you place it. On the front, we have an 8 megapixel camera selfie shooter, and there's a screen protector already pre-installed as well. In the box, before I carry on, you also get your USB cable, you get your power adapter, there's a user booklet, manual and stuff, and you also get a silicone case in the box as well, so you can use that to protect your phone and keep it nice and clean throughout its lifespan. More on the camera on the back though, you have a 48 megapixel, like I said, triple shooter, so the main camera is 48 megapixel. Then you get a 2 megapixel macro lens and a 2 megapixel depth sensing lens as well for your portrait photography, that kind of stuff. So again, I'll show you samples of that, of what I managed to get out of this. On the front, you have a 6.5 full HD display, and it's not OLED, so you won't be getting always on display on this one at all. But nonetheless, you still get 60 Hertz, and you can go up to 90 Hertz as well, and it gives you the option to actually switch between both depending on what you're doing. So even with 90 Hertz, the 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there still lasts a very long time. So battery life on this is not an issue at all. It supports some sort of fast charge, so in the box it comes with a 20 watts fast charge adapter, so you'd still be able to charge this up very quickly, but not something that you'd get with maybe a more premium device that costs a lot more money. But this is more than enough as it is. You don't need anything more than that, to be honest with you. User interface wise, the smartphone itself is very fluid. It moves, it just works really well thanks to that MediaTek chip that's in there. So you get Dimensity 700 5G in here, and you get an option of 4 gig or 6 gig of RAM, and there's also a 64 gigabytes of internal storage, or there's also the 128 gigabytes internal storage option that you can actually use on here as well. You can also expand this using the expansion storage. So if you have a micro SD card, you can pop that in there and actually expand this as well. So you might be better off going for the 64 gig and actually expanding this yourself. It does come with some bloatware as well, so some applications that are pre-installed. Typical Google applications are there, and you get the other ones as well that you can remove as well if you really want to take them out, but it does come with some bloatware. In terms of performance, it looks really good when it comes to watching movies. I enjoyed watching some videos on YouTube. I cranked it up to the highest resolution I can, and they look fantastic as well. There's no glitches. The speaker, unfortunately, doesn't sound the best. Again, there's not a lot you can expect from a £200 phone. Camera wise though, that's where I get disappointed quite a bit, because even when we've got really good lighting condition outside, when you zoom in and punch into the picture, even when you shoot at 48 megapixel pixel binning resolution, it still lacks that proper detail. Things are being over sharpened. You see where they've cut corners when it comes to software optimization with the photos that you've actually taken there. So for me, this is not a phone you buy really for taking photos, although you can still share the photos on there if you really want to and still capture some memories as well. The selfie camera, it's got some sort of like beautification on there. It's not the best again, but again, if you really want to take your selfies, you can still do that on here and still share them on social media. But if I'm looking at the standards of stuff that I would share, this is probably not there at all for me. One thing I love though in the video settings is, as well as being able to shoot 1080p videos on here, you can also have anti-banding in the settings as well. So anti-banding just means when you have like a weird frequency in terms of lighting condition, you don't get that banding that you get when you're trying to shoot a video. So it's interesting that they've included that in the £200 phone. I'm not sure if the user demographics will actually use that, but it's there if you need to use it. There's no IP rating for this, but you do get Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. The back, it's a plastic casing and with a matte finish as well, so it doesn't really attract too much fingerprint, but if it does, it's easy to just wipe it off and you're good to go again. When it comes to gaming, it doesn't shy away as well, because you can game, you can play Asphalt 9, for example, you can play Call of Duty with no hiccups, no problems at all. It actually does work really well. So again, this is a smartphone that you can buy for gaming, the 5G connectivity, but not so much for the photography element at all. There's Game Turbo application on here, which basically just makes sure that you can concentrate on your gaming session. So it disables things like auto brightness and notifications from coming through. So you get that blocked out. So that application comes on there, which is kind of useful. You don't want to be interrupted when you're gaming. But in terms of gaming, this works really well. For software, this is running MIUI 12.0.3 and it's based on Android 11. So in terms of user interface, I think it's pretty smooth. It's straightforward. If you've used an Android phone before, there's nothing to really write home about in that sense. It's easy to use. You just swipe left and right for your applications, swipe up. You can change that as well, as you can change the app drawer format if you really want to. But in terms of user interface and usability, it's very straightforward. It's easy to find your applications, easy to find things in settings as well without having to dig too deep into the settings options. As well as being able to unlock the phone using your fingerprint, you can also use your face as well. It even works when you're wearing a mask as well, but I wouldn't trust that too tough. I also used my own actual password and maybe fingerprint sensor to still get into the phone. So that's it for the Redmi Note 10 5G. As always, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Drop them there as well. As always, smash the like button, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so every time I upload a video, you get to be notified. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.